These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
He's a beast. Oh man, he's a killer. He just knows how to get in the end zone, and I love to see it. I love watching it. I love seeing his little gritties in the end zone. They're hilarious. I mean, I just love being a part of it. Just learning from the things that he's teaching me, and I'm trying to be, that touchdown threat too.
That's Justin Jefferson talking about Chad Beebe there.
Judd Zolgad, I think, actually. Doing the gritty dance.
Yeah, I do the gritty.
Had to go through the Surleys. He's doing his little tap dances. He's
I
just
do the
moving.
little gritty.
Can we get a Kirk? Has Kirk done the gritty yet?
Did he do one
I don't think so.
Did he try one last year? Might have tried one last year, but he hasn't. No, he has not tried.
Actually, wait a second.
He might have tried one.
I put a Kirk gif out last night to celebrate the start of Kirktober. By the way,
Kirktober.
Happy Kirktober.
Happy Kirktober. Drink.
To all of you who celebrate.
You like that?
Yeah. Drink your Surly.
Drink your Surly Kirktoberfest.
I got my seltzers right here. I'm ready to wrap. Ross Brendel, thank you very much.
Okay, wow. So he did. I'm going to hold this up to the screen for the YouTube audience. It won't mean anything for the podcast audience, but there is a GIF. I think this might have been against the Lions last year on the road, and he's leading his team.
Yeah.
In a gritty.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Because he's a leader. Don't forget. He's now a leader.
He's been a better leader according to teammates and coaches this year. That's actually a good segue into Feedback Friday here on Mackie and Judd, where we collect from. We also do a YouTube comment section edition of Purple Daily. You guys do that now early in the week, but this is going to be a landing spot every Friday for anyone who sends us feedback through the SKOR North app, which we've got rocking and rolling now. You can go to the SKOR North app; it's free to download, and you can tap on the feedback tab, and you can send us emails, messages. We're going to collect those for Fridays. You can send us notes in the YouTube comment sections on the SKOR North channel and or the Purple Daily channel, and we'll collect some of the best ones, dive into them, and let's start with some Kirk stuff here. I know actually some of the feedback is you guys have done 15,000 episodes on Kirk this week. Talk about something else. No. It's interesting. And
what?
People generally enjoy discussion about the starting quarterback. It's a fascinating first 3 games here.
We haven't broke down the punter yet, though, and I really am upset about that.
Oh, we'll get there. Yeah,
we'll get there, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So John H. sends us this question through the SKOR North app. It's actually more of just a take here. Guys, let's slow the roll on Kirk. This is typical box score Cousins. He'll play just good enough and still not win a Super Bowl to command another guaranteed contract. But the Vikings can do the right thing here and can continue to let Kirk pad his stats. And when he inevitably fails to lead this team to any meaningful postseason success, the team can move on and shop him around the league and fire Zimmer. Love your guys' show. I just want to say to John here, pump your brakes for a second, John. Because I think, and listen, I'm not the biggest Kirk backer here. I think there's a lot of hollowness to Kirk's career so far. But I think there's been a lot of substance to his box score in the first 3 games. A lot of success on third down, a lot of success in that game against the Seahawks in key situations. I'm willing to let this play out. I think the biggest question is, are we witnessing the annual Kirk Cousins hot streak and it's just happening right out of the gate? And there's going to be a month and a half where he goes in the tank like also happens? Or is this going to be really like the first fully sustained year against great opponents, on the road, etc.? Like, I'm curious to see it play out. But I think it's too early to just say, oh, this is classic box score Kirk Cousins. I want to see this play out. What do you guys think?
Did John watch the program on Thursday? Because I think we all agreed that in some way, shape, or form that this presents a golden opportunity to trade Kirk after the season. That's what he either does, a new contract that brings his contract down cap-wise, which he's not going to do. Because if he deserves to get paid, he's going to get at least one more significant payday. So this is a great start on every possible level in the fact that this provides you the opportunity to have what could be a hot quarterback. We don't know how long for. And it provides you the opportunity now to have a quarterback who's going to be extremely marketable. So I feel like John and us are on the same page, and John might have missed that show. The other thing with Kirk is it's fully up to Kirk what the narrative is. That's what makes sports great. We don't know. Kirk Cousins is off to a good start. I'm not going to, and by the way, I don't feel like it's a box score start because he is succeeding during parts of games that are vital to trying to win games. So like box score Kirk to me is you're down by 2 touchdowns, fourth quarter, he's tearing things up, right? This is not that. So this is not box score Kirk. If box score Kirk reappears, guess what? We'll sound the Kirk alarm. We'll sound the, Kirk warning. This is not a watch. And we will discuss that.
This is garbage time. This is garbage time.
Garbage time from Kirk. Garbage time from Kirk. Garbage. So we'll dissect that at the appropriate time. But for now, I'm not going to rain on a parade of a guy who 3 games in is playing really well.
Yeah, I mean, that throw he made on 3rd and 5 in the fourth quarter with a linebacker ready to bury his soul into the turf at US Bank Stadium to KJ Osborne, that is sort of muddy pocket, things are crumbling around you throw that the top guys in the NFL make more regularly than he has. So,
and I went back and actually was watching some breakdowns on Twitter. And by the way, there are some great breakdowns now. There's some people doing great work. Congratulations, folks. It's awesome. And that throw that you're talking about, I didn't realize until I saw it again. Kirk Cousins was jumping in midair as he delivered the football. Yeah. So he wasn't planted. No. That's all from arm strength. So, but this is a really impressive start. And 3 games in, I will say this, and I don't apologize for game 1, but in games 2 and 3, if this continues, my biggest apology card will not be due to number 8 in Egan. My biggest apology card, if this continues, will have to go to Gary Jr. Kubiak. His designs, the more I watch these breakdowns of the game itself and the offensive philosophy, let's just say it's impressive.
I think you got it backwards. I think it's going to be Clint Kubiak Sr. in about 2 or 3 weeks.
You might be right.
If they beat the Browns and put up 30+ points, I think it's Clint Kubiak Sr.
This is so far, I mean, especially on Sunday, but I mean, this is his offense. He's doing things very differently. Play action compared to what Gary did, it has been largely eliminated compared to that. This is really good play calling.
Yeah. It's been obviously the results, 29 points a game, and some of what I really love, we brought this up on the State of the Offense address on Purple Daily yesterday. I love the fact that in some of these key situations where the Vikings tend to just default to, what do we do? Run the ball, right? 2nd and long, run the ball. And they're still kind of doing that. But 2nd and short, when your whole playbook's open, you can run play action. I mean, think about if you got the weapons the Vikings have and the great play action quarterback and Dalvin Cook or Alex Madison, and it's 2nd and 3. Like, yeah, you could run for a first down, and you should sometimes run for a first down, but like be more aggressive. And they have been in terms of pass play percentage in those situations. They're averaging 19 yards a throw on 2nd and short because the whole playbook's open.
And the play designs are really creative. The play designs are really good. So let's just say somebody might have been wrong on the show, and it wasn't Declan or Phil.
Oh, it's 3 weeks.
Somebody might have been wrong. No, I said might. I didn't say for sure. I'm just saying, own up to it. Oh, sports dad always told the sports kids, own up to it.
Let's do one more Kirk one here. Okay. This is from Sean on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Because there is I don't want to over magnify like this group of Kirk Cousins people, but it's worth addressing. These guys hate Kirk Cousins with a passion. All they talk about is Kirk, even though he's playing at a Pro Bowl level with an average offensive line and 0 defense. It's called SKOR North, but they dislike the team, and it's a negative podcast, and one of the guys is a Packer fan. I think they're talking about either Judd covering the Packers 15 years ago or Declan saying he doesn't mind the Packers. We have Packer fans doing our podcast. Here's my take on this, all right? We don't have to, lash out at Sean. I love the fact that Sean watches and listens on a daily basis, and there's going to be people that disagree with our opinions. We don't agree all the time. I think we see Kirk Cousins fairly similarly in that, we don't argue a lot on that front. But I think what's happening here, if we could zoom back out, is a lot of Vikings fans have just been trained through the last 15 or 20 years through the content that they consume and the options that have been available. You've been trained that if somebody takes even a slightly critical look or angle at something that's not perfect and sunshine and roses, if you point out, oh, what about this? This is an interesting flaw. We should drill down deep. Through the prism, by the way, of wanting the Vikings to win a Super Bowl, if you're not speaking 100% positively and talking about the faith you have in the team, and if you're not just blindly optimistic, then somehow you're negative, right? And I think we take pride in, bucking that trend. Like you can be critical of your favorite team and still love your favorite team and want your favorite team to win a Super Bowl. But I think there's been so much training and, dare I say, even brainwashing in some ways the last 15 or 20 years with some of the options available to people when they consume Vikings content that it's hard to unwire that. That's what I'll say.
That's absolutely true. And I mean, to call me a Packer fan, bum, bum, ba-da-ba, bum. I mean, it's just not true.
I mean, you did have a Gilbert Brown jersey, I think, when the late 90s were.
Which is why I've started a diet. More on that later.
That Robert Ferguson jersey from the early 2000s.
Yep. Javon Walker.
Really good on you.
Javon 8-4.
A Bubba Franks jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Bubba Franks. Jermichael Finley?
Ahmad Green.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
The Ahmad Green jersey comes with Vaseline on your forearms so you can fumble 3 times every game.
Oh,
remember that guy? That guy was good, but he fumbled all the time.
That was a big deal.
So, I
I think that we provide proper analysis of the Vikings. And that's, you know what? That's for some, and we appreciate those folks, and for some, they want the purple Kool-Aid.
I like Aaron Rodgers because, number one, he's really good at football, and he's also sabotaging the Packers. So, okay, I think both those things can coexist. All right.
He's a Trojan from within.
And he's gonna be wearing 12 for the purple here in maybe a year. So who knows?
It's gonna be fun.
Who knows?
Let's see, a lot of Johns here. John W. via the Purple Daily YouTube channel said, Judd, shower beers are worth it after a long day of working. You were wondering about the whole shower beer
I was
thing.
wondering. I was not. No, I've always thought they sounded enticing, but I don't
keep it away from the water, obviously, so that you don't water down your surly.
I've never been a fan. I don't like to mix my business with pleasure, so I don't like that White Claw or that seltzer or that beer in the shower.
You consider showering business?
Yeah, I don't really consider it business.
I consider it business.
Do you really?
Business. Yeah, it's business.
It can be it's an enjoyable time.
It can be an enjoyable time. Yeah,
it's a lot more enjoyable if you got a beer in the shower.
My brother Liam, who's been on the show, friend of the show, when I go down and visit him, in both of his bathrooms in North Carolina, there is a little wall mount for a can that he uses when he has his shower beer.
That's next level.
He loves it. It's a pro move.
I feel like scrubbing your skin is not business.
It's pleasure to you?
I feel like
say it's pleasure.
No,
say
it's
pleasure.
Is there somewhere between business?
No. It's just
say it's pleasure.
No, it's not pleasure.
Say I want you to say it.
Say it's pleasure, you coward.
You know
say
I would be completely forthcoming, but it's not for me. It's just it's just part of a routine.
So I'm gonna make a confession about my shower beer history. So when I was in high school, I think the statute of limitations
I started drinking
is out
heavily.
Yeah.
I actually didn't start drinking until after high school. So I'm I'm a late bloomer.
Not me.
Not me.
Judd was like 9.
Not me, 16. Bartle James, baby.
What's the Park? Judd was at Park Tavern in St. Louis Park when he was 12 years old.
You know what?
2 for
if I
1
had it to do
pitchers.
again, I might consider it.
So I was at the Metrodome with some friends for the Prep Bowl in like 2001 or 2002, and there was a couple those like blue cup holders on the back of the seats,
Oh yeah.
Those plastic ones.
Yep.
And one of my friends, there was a couple loose ones, and so one of my friends like stomped a couple of them. They were already loose. I mean, come on. And so he stomped a couple of them off their frame, and I guess stole them. Gifted one to me at some point later. And so I had a Metrodome cup holder that for 2 years at the end of college in our College House, I had that cup holder in the shower.
Oh,
so
wow.
You could put a beer.
Savvy, dude. Very good.
And
in
did
the
you go like
Metrodome cup holder.
full handy mode too? Like install it on the wall? Like what did you do?
I tried the double-sided, but it was, it would get all, I don't know, like moist is not a word that I would choose to use ever, but you know what I'm saying? Like the condensation.
A lot of shower takes today.
There was enough of a ledge there that you could just sort of set it
Sure.
on and put the beer in. So
Okay.
yeah.
But anyway, yes, I will try it.
Let's see here. Ray C. Oh man, this is a hot take from Ray C on the SKOR North YouTube channel. Tried the Redzone channel again, and for the first time in over a decade, it is still absolutely the worst way to watch football. I need to know the flow of the game. How did they get down there? How is the defense doing, etc.? I can't stand the jumping around on Redzone channel. I'm out again, maybe in 10 more years.
Wow.
I'll come back. That's one of the hottest takes I've ever. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone slander the Redzone channel.
I don't love a lot of things in life. I really don't. I like a lot of things. I don't love a lot of things. When it comes to RZ and Scotty H on a Sunday and the couch, the Redzone is the greatest thing, the greatest invention of all time. Clearly, that person and I would not get along because now. Dawn, who's not a football fan, really does complain because of the constant switching around, but she doesn't really count because she's not a football fan. So
she doesn't
count. I mean, her opinion in this matter, I mean, that would be like me trying to weigh in on Below Deck or the Housewives. I don't count.
I've got takes on all of those, by the way.
Yeah, let's say
it is the greatest sports invention, in my opinion, that's ever. You know what? No. Replay first, because that's the greatest invention. I think the red zone concept might be the second greatest invention.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big red zone guy. I can see how it would be just if you just want to settle in and watch a game. But then again, I think the best part about the red zone channel is, let's say there's 8 early games going on or 7 early games going on. There's always going to be 3 of them that are just kind of dud matchups, right? Like the Texans and the Titans are going at it. I don't need to see like the process by which the Texans made their way inside the 20-yard line. All right, I'm good on that. Yeah. But if the Texans are about to score a touchdown, jump in for 15 seconds and show me. It's getting me interested in things that I wouldn't ordinarily be. It's like curating football in a way that makes something that isn't supposed to be interesting, Titans, more interesting. And
if there are, I think this was the case last weekend. I believe there were 9 early games. All right. There's a lot of bad football just generally being played as teams drive, and then there's there'll be a quick change or something. I've always said this about the Red Zone channel. It's the deodorant of football. It covers up the smell. Like you can sit on the couch on a non-Viking Sunday for an entire day and come away saying, this league's incredible. I mean, this league's great.
Is Red Zone channel on the Mount Rushmore of great sports media inventions or creations?
It very might be.
Oh, no, it is.
I think it is.
The question is, who is it?
It's like top 5 for me of reasons I miss cable. I don't pay for cable. And it's definitely in my top 3 to 5 of things that I would have cable for would just be for Red Zone, easily.
Yeah, YouTube TV offers it although YouTube TV is having a big war with NBC Universal, so you're about to lose 15 NBC Universal channels.
This is not workable for me.
Yeah. Let's see here. We got to some of this with Patrick Royce on Rap with Royce today, but Smith via Twitter asks, how would you feel if the Twins traded Byron Buxton after always talking about keeping homegrown talent? I'd personally find it unforgivable.
I really feel that this is a simple discussion in this sense. You had Barrios and Buxton, and Barrios was showing no signs of staying. He still is very good, but you said, okay, we're not going to be able to re-sign him. He clearly wants to break the bank, and perhaps he should. We're trading him. Okay. That leaves you with Buxton and Sano. Sano, I don't care about now. He's like off. He's out of the discussion.
Agreed.
So now we're down to Buxton, who despite the fact that they manipulated his service time at one point, and I don't think he's always had a great relationship with the team. The rumblings are he is willing to stay at the right price. You can't trade him. Like you just can't. You made your choice. What's the selling point for this team if you take a player, even as hurt as he's been, that's this dynamic and like brings this many different things? 5-tool player, right? Like,
shut it all down.
It's called a 5-tool player because most guys don't have 5 tools. Byron Buxton has 5 tools.
If they trade Byron Buxton, you can shut it all down. Yeah. Here's the amazing thing. He's been, I think, even though he's missed like 4 months, right? He's going to wind up playing like a fourth of the season, I want to say. According to wins above replacement, he's going to be, I believe, the second most valuable player on the team, despite missing all that time. Jorge Polanco's been really, really good this year. You gotta sign him. You gotta back up the Brinks truck, and you gotta cross your fingers and pray that he stays. And by the way, he's due to stay healthier. Okay, Paul Molitor was hurt throughout his entire 20s, and then wound up having an amazing career in his 30s, a Hall of Fame career. Played till he was 40, 41 years old or whatever it was. So it's already going to be hard enough to sell anything to your fans going into 2021. I mean, this team hasn't won a playoff game since 2004, hasn't won a playoff series. Next year will be the 20th anniversary of the last time they won a playoff series. Think about that.
Happy birthday.
It's 30 years since they've won a World Series. People are bailing on this team. If you trade Byron Buxton, how do you explain anything to your fans, right? If you trade Byron Buxton, you're going into a full rebuild, and you're basically just flipping the bird to your fans. You gotta back up the Brinks truck. I'm sorry.
The only way to justify it would have been if you had made the decision that because he doesn't miss starts, you were going to give Barrios the contract he wanted, and you didn't. So I just, this team is, we are still in a pandemic. It's hopefully going to be done at some point here, but we are still in a pandemic. This market, which is really not that big in terms of size, has every professional sports team, now 2 Division I college choices in the Twin Cities. And what are you going to sell people on if you are now like, yeah, you know what, Buxton, we couldn't do it. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't care that he hit 30 bombs. Sano's a bust. Like this year was off until it didn't matter. Miguel Sano was unplayably terrible. He got benched. Mm-hmm. Barrios has been traded, and you can't tell me, but Royce Lewis is coming off as ACL. You're not going to believe him. So that dude
hasn't played a baseball game in 3 years or something.
You have, as far as I'm concerned, as in trying to keep interest, you are low on options now, and Buxton's a really good one.
Yeah. Let's see here. Tosh M via the SKOR North app chimes in and says, "Hey, I've been watching for a while now, you guys on your YouTube channels. I love what you guys are bringing. Not sure exactly how this works, but I would love to become a frequent flyer on the show. I love having a community of brothers and sisters to go along with my Vikings issues. Laugh out loud." I wonder if we should create
frequent flyer miles, huh?
We've got write that down predictions in which we bring the listeners in, but we should almost have like a Club Purple Daily or something. Some sort of, how loyal are you?
Did you say Club Purple
at
Daily?
The foot of Judd.
What would we do? Bum, bum, bum.
Just drinks early all day.
Just drinks early.
It's Club Purple Daily.
We'll think of something.
There could be like a main cabin, like a Comfort Plus, a first class. Like we can make it a whole thing.
What's Coach?
Exactly. Like Coach might just be the YouTube comment audience. That just might be the coach of our transportation.
I'm sorry,
sling some stale.
This bathroom is for first class Mackie.
I've made that mistake on a plane before. That is not.
Try to get into first class. Go to the bathroom.
I had to go.
What, you went to the first class bathroom?
I went to I was in Maine. And I went to either into the comfort of the first class one, and she was like, "This is for comfort and first class only." I was like, "Well, I really have to go to the bathroom," and she actually let me through, but because there was 2 people waiting in the back, and I was like, either I'm gonna pee my pants, and that's not gonna be fun, or you can just let me use this bathroom. And
why did you wait so long to get up out of your seat?
I have a horrible habit of I don't go to the bathroom until I'm kind of like a toddler until I absolutely have to, and it's like a 90-second warning, like I need to use the restroom. That can
I'm
be
like that. I'm
can-
like that with my gas tank on empty with my car.
Oh no. No.
You do that? Dawn does that. That drives me
I go
crazy. Why
gaslight
do you do that?
literally every time.
Why?
Nope.
Yeah.
With
Why don't you
technology,
just
it
fill it
tells like last 30. If I get like the mile 30 marker of, hey, you have 30 miles left in this tank, I'm filling up. Like I have to stop what I'm doing and go fill up.
That's cool. I mean, you got plenty of time. Take your time.
No,
I
but
start considering a fill up at half empty.
What?
Okay, that's a little much. That's a
Oh
little
yeah,
much.
What do you think's going to
You and my
happen? Though?
mother.
You're gonna go like
that fucker full up.
180
No,
miles and not find a gas station.
No, I just do not.
How far in
idea
the
of
western
being
suburbs
near
do you
E.
live?
I don't like being near E. It's very disturbing to me.
I'll tell you, I've gone down to empty, like the empty gauge light going on, almost every single time I've gotten gas in my life, and I've been driving for 20 years, and I've never run out of gas.
We ran out of gas about 8 years back, and that was not good. That was not good.
Sounds like it wasn't your fault.
We're driving up. It wasn't. It was Dawn's car. We're driving up a hill. Literally, the car starts to go. I'm like, oh, son of a.
So had you seen the gas light on and you knew that you guys were?
I couldn't get to a gas station. Oh yeah, absolutely. I was headed to a gas station.
Yeah, I've had friends that literally say like, "Hey, I ran out of gas on my way there." Like, how? How did that happen?
But here's the worst part.
God.
So we're out of gas, side of the road near Ridgedale, and Dawn and a friend who I won't name I had picked them up from a bar to stop if you're a cop and check out the car.
No, dude.
So I'm totally sober, but her and her friend, of course, have been drinking mimosas. So the cop's like, "Oh, everything okay today?" And I'm like, "We ran out of," and I was pissed off. I'm like, "We ran out of gas." And he's like, "Have you been drinking, sir?" I'm like, "No, my wife and her friend have." And he's like, "Okay, why don't you step out of your car?"
Oh my
dude.
God.
Pulls me around the car and back and starts to give me the sobriety test.
Oh.
And I'd forget if he had a partner with him or another cop stopped behind him, because I believe it's the Tonka cops. Not a lot to do. Not a lot.
That's literally all they're doing is trying to find people. Yeah.
I've had a sobriety test for the Tonka cops before too. So
and so he starts to give me just the start of the sobriety test, and the partner comes up and he's like, "No, you're fine, dude. Don't, like, I believe you. You're clearly not drunk." But they can smell. I mean, they're trained to smell booze.
Yeah.
So like I was.
So how'd you get gas? Did you have to walk up the freeway?
No. She called a friend, I think, who went and got like a jug of it, and we stuck it in the car. And I don't think we got a ticket, but we could have that. But I mean, do you know how much you don't need a sobriety test when you have had nothing to drink and you're being the DD?
Damn. Dude, that would be.
Don't run out of gas, kids.
Tormenting.
Don't run out of gas.
John Hobbs on Twitter chimes in. Hey, Sylvester Stallone and MGM are reissuing Rocky IV as Rocky versus Drago, the ultimate director's cut, which features 40 additional minutes of footage.
Oh my God.
Will there be an emergency action movie rewind podcast on this? I will say Rocky IV is one of my two favorite movies of all time, and Rounders is the other one. And even I will tell you, we don't need 40 additional minutes of footage from that movie. I think we're good. The hour and a half or whatever
more boxing,
it is.
You think?
Is
like
fine.
What's your theory about
just more?
Just
40 minutes more of haymakers in that final fight.
That's my guess, right?
It's 20 minutes of Rocky and Drago staring at each other while Apollo Creed bleeds and dies in Rocky's arms.
Do you think the Apollo? I wonder if there's more to the Apollo fight.
I mean, it was maybe. I mean, do we need to see more of that?
No, I don't. I'm trying to speculate.
And Creed
more of the robot. Maybe that's what it is.
And the second
Happy
Creed
birthday, Polly.
With Michael B. Jordan is Drago's kid versus Creed, right?
Yeah.
I've only seen Creed 2 like bits and pieces. I've seen Creed
really
1
good.
numerous times, but I haven't seen Creed 2.
Creed 1 and Creed 2 are two of the 4 best Rocky movies of all time.
Yeah. I love the original Creed.
And there's been 8
fan
of them.
Don't forget, I believe Stallone, we talked about this like 6 months back. I believe Stallone in this version that's going to be released was trying to take the robot out, right?
Happy birthday,
in the
Polly.
re-release?
Yeah, I thought he said because it turns out he hates it.
So he's going to take 10 minutes of robot footage out and basically add 50 minutes of additional footage.
I don't know if that was the final decision, but it did come out that he hated the robot. Happy birthday, Polly.
Troy MCC comments on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. I wasn't the biggest fan of Alex Boone's time in Purple, but he is incredible on the show, and he seems like a really down-to-earth type guy. We've gotten a ton of awesome feedback on the first couple weeks of Alex Boone on Tuesdays on Purple Daily. So if you hated him when he was here because he just was a blowhard, check him out on Tuesdays and recalibrate your opinion, or not, or let us know. And then one more, just because I know this is going to set Judd off before we get to Judd's keys here.
Thanks.
Granny Smith comments on the SKOR North YouTube channel. This is in response to us talking about and making fun of Glenn Taylor for putting the kibosh at the beginning of that press conference on, hey, you guys can't ask me about Ben Simmons, and you guys can't ask me about Gerson Rosas because legal issues. And he says, Mackie and Judd are clowns who whine when Glenn Taylor won't answer freedom of the press questions.
Wait, I never said he had to answer them. What we said specifically was, don't tell people what they can and can't ask. Once they ask it, you answer the way that you choose to. You own an NBA team. You should know how to field those questions without basically trying to cut them off. The other thing was, I could see saying we can't talk about the Gerson thing from the perspective of how it went down, because I think behind the scenes they're probably going to be sued. But somebody should have advised Glenn. And this is what drives me crazy about rich people who either A, don't listen, or people are afraid to advise.
Yeah.
The Ben Simmons thing is completely fair game until asked, and then what you do is you talk around it, but it's
tampering. It would be tampering, Judd. It'd be tampering.
The Minnesota Timberwolves are always looking to add the best talent that we possibly can. And if opportunities arise for that talent to be on this roster, to surround the players that we are building around, we would welcome that opportunity. I can't talk about guys in particular, but what I can tell you is that Sachin Gupta right now is upstairs.
Well, Glenn didn't know his name
trade
at the time.
Machine. That Mr. Gupta
is
upstairs reinventing the trade machine. But I mean, that's why the first part I didn't like, because don't tell people what they can't ask. The Ben Simmons thing was flat out dumb. And that's not from a press perspective. That's from a dude. This creates excitement.
You should welcome every possible question, because A, it means people are, whether it's positive or negative, people are interested in your franchise and interested in your answers. And then you can craft the answers however you want to. It's an opportunity. And I agree 100%. But it's tampering. Of course you can't ask about Simmons. No. You can ask whatever you want, because freedom and freedom of press. But if you're Glenn Taylor, you just nailed it. Or if you're Mark Laurie, we can't talk specifically about players, or we can't talk specifically about the way that Gerson Rosas was let go because there's some legal things that are preventing us. But, and here's my crafted message that can spin it forward positively. And
yes,
et cetera,
we're always
et cetera,
looking
right?
to add the best talent available to this roster.
Yeah.
Just to combine that question or comment, it's not really a question, with the earlier one about us being clowns because our show is a Packer fan and two guys that hate the Vikings. I also think, to piggyback off of what you're saying, Phil, about how there have been certain entities in the media in this town that have raised people to be blindly just loyal fans. I feel like there's also the faction of people who think that people who own teams and run teams are authorities, and therefore Glenn Taylor knows what he is doing, and he is Glenn Taylor's got no clue. And I don't understand in Boston or Philadelphia, that's a bad one, but New York, Chicago, they question people all the time, because that's the job, is to question them. And
especially if you're not performing at a high level.
Exactly. But I don't understand this whole thing of, because I always feel like comments like that are, well, Glenn Taylor's a billionaire and you two are nothing but
must be doing something right.
A couple of YouTube
sure, I guess.
schleps, and one of you is sort of fat in the face.
Schleps.
Yeah, but I mean, that's our job. And you know what? Quite frankly, your job as fans is to question things. It's to question things.
And it's okay. And if you question things, it doesn't make you a bad fan. It doesn't make you negative.
It makes you a better fan. It makes you passionate.
You want the team to we can all agree. All of us want the Timberwolves and the Vikings and the Twins and the Wild to be championship caliber teams. It makes it more fun as a fan. Quite frankly, from a business standpoint, if you're in the media, it makes it more fruitful, right? And so to me, if you never question or if you don't poke holes, it doesn't mean that you're miserable. Like if you're poking, like there's a middle ground here of I don't want to live my life as a sports fan with my head in the clouds, just of positivity all the time,
Right.
when things clearly aren't in a championship direction, right? So, anyways, there's probably more to talk about there, but we got to get to the real main event here. All right.